Hello lovely simmers, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. For today's speed build, we are building another house. I know, shocker, but this one, I was actually really excited about this one. I really liked how it ended up turning out. It was a little bigger than I had initially intended it to be. I was really initially going for kind of more of like a townhouse style home, something very narrow but taller. But as you can kind of tell by the block I have just created on my screen, it is definitely not as narrow as I think I would have liked it, but it gave me more room to work with on the interior because I knew I wanted this to be a family home, so it gave me some more space to actually add the bedrooms. But there's also this weird thing, I'm just gonna let you guys know about this right now. I don't know what happened, but there's this weird thing going on with the interior of the house and the upstairs. It looks like there's no roof, or at least the lighting looks like there's no roof. I don't know what happened, but it literally it's giving it the lighting of the exterior of the house, and I don't know why, because initially I had put like skylights in these two upper levels that I'm putting roofs on right now. Initially those were skylights, and then I really didn't like how, it was messing with things, so I decided just to go ahead and re-put the floor in and re-put the ceiling in and take away the glass roofing. And it still was giving it the exterior lighting, and I tried everything. I had this a part of my roof was like clipping into the house, so I deleted that part of the roof and I fixed it off camera, and it was still doing it, so I don't know what's going on with that. If you guys can fix it when you place it in your games, let me know. Just like leave a comment and say, hey, this is how I fixed it, because I do want to play in this house because I think it's a really nice house, but I just don't know how to fix it. I tried everything, I really did. So let me know either in the comments down below or in the comments on the gallery if you do end up being able to fix it and what my dumb butt did to make it that way. But anyway, the exterior of the house, I wanted to play with platforms. I don't know why. Platforms usually give me a headache, and they gave me a headache with this build too, but I wanted to try and play with them. And I wanted to do this like front porch area. Now there is also a back porch. Initially when I was building this, I wasn't going to give it a front and a back, but I did end up doing both because I had enough space. So it kind of diminishes the purpose of the front of the house porch, but I think it looks really nice with this platform area, and I really like how the front of the house looks. In the back of the house, I like the backyard area. I think the back of the actual home itself, like the structure, could probably use some work, but I might also just be being really hard on myself. For this build, I used these Moschino windows. I don't use these a lot. I usually just use really open windows like these Snowy Escape ones, but I was looking at some reference pictures and they all had windows like that weren't completely open. They had like the lines running through them, so I decided to go ahead and use these. And then this is not the final shape of the build. I know you guys are probably like, oh, this is so cute, but I do end up adding an extension off to the left. I'm not 100% sure why I did that, because when I went back in to furnish the house, I was like, this isn't really a necessary extension. I think in my head I was initially thinking this house wasn't going to be as modern because the landscaping I do for this house really isn't that modern, and I was going to do like a greenhouse, and I think that the extension off the side, because you'll see how I put the windows around it, I think the extension off the side was initially going to be a greenhouse, and then as I started furnishing and decorating and all that stuff, the house ended up being way more modern, and I didn't think a greenhouse fit the style of the family anymore. I didn't really think that they would be running a greenhouse, so I do end up just turning it into like a sunroom. But so this is the little extension that I add, and I placed like these glass windows all around, and I think that's what I was trying to do, because I also end up trying to add a greenhouse into like the backyard area too, next to the pool, but I delete that as well after I started doing the interior. So I think that initially I was just going to give them a whole bunch of plant areas, and then I just decided against it. But now we're going into adding the toppings to the half walls. Now I've been really into using these half walls. Now that we have all these different heights that we can use, they really make good fences. Like if I can't find a fence that really works with what I want, I immediately go for a half wall. I just wish we had more of the toppings. I think they're technically called trims, half wall trims. Yeah, that makes much more sense than toppings, but I was thinking about ice cream toppings. But I think that I wish we had more trims for the half walls, because right now we either have like 6 options of plain ones, and then we have this one which has the glass, and then one that almost looks like a fence, and these two came with dine out, and so I wish that we just got a couple more, I don't know, fancy ones, kind of maybe one that was like straight glass and not like glass with paneling in it, or I don't know. I just wish we had a couple more fancy ones so that they weren't either plain or ridiculously big like these are. And then over here I'm just doing a little path from the driveway. So I built this driveway not realizing that I couldn't put the driveway all the way to the curb, which really annoys me. I do end up leaving it just because I already built it and I really liked how this little corner turned out, because I put cars here, but I also end up doing the trash cans over here. So this is kind of like where they hide their trash cans, and then also a couple of bikes, because like I said, this is a family home, so there is 2 kids' bedrooms, and I thought that it'd be really cute if they had bikes, even though kids can't ride bikes in the game, which I totally forgot about. And I'm playing my University Sim Zuri. Obviously she has a kid. We just built her house on this channel last week, and I forgot that kids couldn't ride bikes, so I gave the house a bike, and then I went to go have the kid take a bike ride around the town, and it wouldn't let him, and I was like, why can't they ride bikes? It makes no sense to me why the kids can't ride the bikes. And I know that there's a mod for it, but every time I install mods in my game, it messes it up. So I try not to install mods. I do, you've guys seen my custom content. I do have custom content, but I try not to do actual mods, because literally every time I have tried, and it's not like I'm doing untested mods. The one mod I have tried is the Slice of Life mod, which is the one that everyone says you need, and every time I try to download it, it just messes up my game. One time, Zuri is a perfect example. Zuri has her first kid because of the Slice of Life mod. I didn't even know, I didn't hit anything. I hit woohoo, I think, and it must have been a risky woohoo or something like that without my knowledge, and she ended up getting pregnant. And I swear I did not hit risky woohoo, so I think the game just broke. And so I deleted it almost immediately, and my game started running a lot better. It wasn't as slow anymore either, so I really do just have a hard time with mods. I mean, I also play on a Mac, which could be why I have such a hard time with mods, but I don't know. I don't really need them. I build most of the time anyway, so I'm not doing a whole lot of gameplay, although I am going to tell you guys, little self-promotion here, I do plan on starting a Let's Play on this channel. If you have seen my previous Let's Play, it was about the new pack Eco Lifestyle. It's not new anymore, it came out at the beginning of this year, but it was about that pack. It was all about exploring that pack, and I thought about doing one for Snowy Escape, but at the time I didn't really have the means to do it. I was working a lot, and I had just built the family, and as I was playing with the family, I was really happy I decided not to do it, because it's a 6-sim household. Yeah, 6-sim household, and those are really hard to control. I was going all over the place while trying to play with that family, and I haven't played with them in a while, solely because I kind of want one of the elders to die, just so it makes it easier for me to control the family. But so I haven't played it in a while, but I decided not to do the Let's Play for them, but I did create another family on my channel when we got the new skin tone update. It was called the Folk family, and I think I'm going to play with them, do a little Let's Play. I'm thinking about calling it Folk Family Fridays, and then uploading them on Fridays. Not starting this Friday. This Friday I do have a speed build planned, because some things did occur of which I was not anticipating. Life just happened, so I wasn't actually able to film a Let's Play part this week, but I think starting next Friday we are going to be doing that Let's Play. So let me know in the comments down below if you are excited about that, or if you don't want me to do another Let's Play. I will not be offended either way. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts about it. But now we're on into the interior of the house. And like I said, when I initially started this, I wasn't planning on it being as modern as it ended up being. I think I just started lending towards it, and I've been doing that a lot, which actually surprises me, because when I started my channel, I lended mostly towards more homey, cozy builds, because that's what I prefer. And now recently I've been building a lot more modern stuff, and I don't know if it's because Snowy Escape kind of lends more towards modern, so I was using a lot of the new items, or honestly, I use Eco Lifestyle a lot. That has quickly become, in the past 4 weeks, that has quickly become my go-to pack for all of my interiors, and that pack definitely lends more towards the modern end. So I think that it was kind of just a mix of the newest pack we got lends towards modern, and then the pack that I'm reaching for the most also does, so my style has to kind of adapt for those packs when I decide to use them. But yeah, so I hope you guys don't mind that I'm kind of lending more towards the modern end. I do have another build going up on my channel on Friday that is definitely not modern, and it's something kind of experimental, I want to say. It's something I haven't done on my channel before. I did build one other one. Spoilers, it's a treehouse, and it's not like a kid-style treehouse either. It is a full-grown, fully functional house up in the trees. So I'm really excited to share that one with you guys. I am a little nervous because it doesn't screenshot well, because there's only like one floor on the bottom level. All the other ones are either 2 above or 3 above like the ground, like 3 levels above the ground. So when you're taking the screenshots, it kind of looks a little crowded, especially because I had to fill up the space with trees to make it look like it was actually hanging in the trees. So I'm really excited for you guys to see it. Please hang on through the video. Don't let the screenshots fool you. Because it really is a really pretty house, and I built bridges connecting the different homes and the trees using the platform tools, so I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to post that one on Friday. But this living room, so if you saw earlier, I placed 2 TVs. My sister was looking over my shoulder while I was building this house, and I asked for her opinion, and she initially said to put it over the fireplace, and then after I put it over the fireplace, she was like, no wait, try it in front of the couch. And so I had the 2 TVs up for a little bit. And then when she told me to put it in front of the couch, I was like, okay, but I'm changing the table, because the more I stared at the table that I was using, I didn't like it. So I went back in and changed the table and like maneuvered some stuff around. But that's why for a couple of minutes it looked like I had 2 TVs going into that room. But now we are in the kitchen, another room that my sister gave me her lovely opinion on. That's why I just changed the refrigerator right there, because the refrigerator I had chosen was a base game refrigerator, and then the stove is the cool kitchen stove. And the swatches didn't match. They were both gray, but they were different tones of gray. And my sister was like, what are you doing? Those don't match. And I was like, yeah, but they're both gray. And she was like, no, Emily, just use the matching refrigerator. And the base game refrigerator and the refrigerator that I'm using now, I'm pretty sure it's the same refrigerator. They just gave us different swatches for it for the pack. So it's not like it was that big of a change. I was laughing about it. But now I'm cluttering up the counters, if I can talk. I'm cluttering up the counters, and I do leave one bare, just obviously so your sim can use it. This is a rather small kitchen, particularly for how big this house is. There's only one usable counter, and I was thinking about that, like, as I was building it. I was like, maybe I should have just made this kitchen bigger, because there is this room. You guys don't know because you didn't see the floor plan. You can kind of see it off to the left there, though. That was supposed to be a laundry room, and I totally forgot to furnish it. Like, you will never see me furnish it, and I'm pretty sure when I uploaded it to the gallery, I forgot to go back in and furnish it too. So it's free reign for you guys to do whatever you want with it, but it was supposed to be a laundry room, and I just forgot about it. And honestly, I probably should have just deleted the wall and extended the kitchen, so that way I could have had more space for a bigger kitchen, because like I said, this is a big family home. But while I was doing the floor planning, the kitchen area looked so big, and I was like, no, this looks huge. I don't want to have to furnish this big of a kitchen. But now that I actually had to furnish it, I'm like, no, I probably should have made it that big. But now we're going back out into the living room area, and I'm filling up this shelf. That's what it's called. It's called a shelf. I don't know. Ignore my brain today, okay? It's like 8:30 in the morning and I'm super tired, but so if I'm stumbling, that is definitely why. But the eco lifestyle shelves I use a lot. I try and use the ones that are already filled though, so that way I don't have to go back in and clutter them. And I know that that's kind of cheating, but I just sometimes, because I clutter items so much in my builds, I feel like I'm running out of clutter. Like, I just want a stuff pack of clutter. And I know that probably not a lot of people want that, because there's a lot of things that other people want, but and we do honestly need in the game, but I really wish that they would just bring out like the clutter stuff, and then it was just a whole pack of just clutter items to fill a house. I think that would be perfect, because it would give us stuff, A, to fill those snowy escape counters that they gave us that we don't have enough stuff in the game to fill, and B, it would give us some new stuff to just like play around with in our builds. So that's kind of like my dream pack currently. That and a mini golf pack. I don't know. I'm the only person I've ever seen want this pack, but when I first heard that we were getting a beach pack, quote unquote island living, I didn't realize that it was like a whole different like culture experience pack, kind of like El Salvadorado or Jungle Adventure. I kind of thought it was just going to be like your Sims go to the beach, which is a vacation that me and my family do all the time. But my beach by us has all these different like miniature golf courses. You know, the cool ones where they have the themes and like the blue water like going down into the ponds and stuff like that. There's like the beach where I live has like 20 of those golf courses on the one block. And so I always associate mini golf with going to the beach. So when I first heard that we were getting a beach pack, I was like, oh my god, I really hope they give us mini golf, because I was like, everywhere else obviously has to have mini golf. And then it was a whole different culture pack, which was great. I love island living. I'm really glad that they did it that way. But now I can't help but think about how much I want to play mini golf in The Sims. And I think that it would be cool because they could like integrate it with Get to Work, kind of like how they did the vet career in Cats and Dogs. You could like own your own mini golf course and you could become like a tycoon of mini golf courses. Like, I think that would be so cool. But I haven't seen anybody else want that, so I highly doubt it's even on EA's radar. But if someone at EA is listening to this, I would love it if we could get a mini golf pack so I could take my Sims to play mini golf. Anyway, little rant over, like my tangent rant I just went on. We are now in the dining room, and I used the fitness stuff pack. I use that table, and I don't use that table a lot because I don't like the legs of the table, but I felt like it matched the aesthetics of this room quite a bit because the legs are kind of this bluish gray, and then it's obviously a glass table, so I thought that it matched the blue that I had on the walls. And then over here is the room that I ended up making the sunroom. Doesn't really fit the rest of the house. I noticed that when I was taking the screenshots, I was like, the rest of the house is like super modern, and then I used these Caribbean inspired chairs, so I was kind of like, that's a little bit of a stretch. But I had this really big palm in the back, and I figured that maybe this was like their relaxing space. Like maybe one of the parents wasn't as modern as the other one, and this was like their one room that they got to decorate. And then going upstairs, there is a little seating area here by the landing. I always do seating areas on landings just because I don't know what else to put there, because usually my builds include offices, so that's where I shove all the desks. So, like, because I've seen a lot of people do really cool loft offices, but I always have, loft offices, but I always have a separate area in my floor planning for it. So I never place a desk there because I think it's okay to have as many seating areas in a house, but having, like, more than one office, or more than two offices, I should say, because usually I have two desks in the one office, I think is just a little excessive. But maybe one day I'll just not put an office in the floor plan and just add another bedroom. But then again, how many bedrooms does one family need? I don't know. These are the internal debates I have with myself while I'm floor planning my builds. This is why you guys never see my floor plans, because it takes me so long to decide what I'm going to do, especially like my really big houses. Like the container mansion that I put up on Sunday, it took me almost like an hour to floor plan that house because I had the story. Which, thank you all so much for the love on that story, by the way. When I first started telling the story, I was like, everyone's gonna think I'm crazy because this is such a sad story. But all of you loved it, and it made me really happy. But anyway, I had the story in my head, and I was like, so I need X amount of bedrooms, and I need it to look like this, and I need it to be like this. And because the shipping containers were so narrow, and I knew all the bedrooms had to be super tiny, I was like taking me forever trying to figure out how I wanted to do it. And then I was like, well, all the bedrooms should be on one side of the house. And then I was like, or does it really matter? And it was a mess. So that is usually why I cut out all of my screenshots or out all of my floor planning. But so this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. So I added the flooring back in, and I took all of the roof pieces that were clipping into the build out, so that way nothing was like interfering with the exterior walls, but that outside area is still lit up as though it's the exterior of the house, and I don't know why. And when I went in to take the screenshots, even some of these rooms were being lit up as though they were exteriors of houses. So I don't really know what's going on. It could just be a glitch because the game didn't load quick enough to like register that I had changed the interior lighting, but we'll see. Let me know if you guys do end up downloading this house, what ended up happening. But the bathrooms are all the same. The downstairs bathroom doesn't have a shower in it, but besides that, the bathrooms are exactly the same. So there's nothing major for me to talk about. And going into the kids' rooms, I don't know. I thought when I first did it, I was going to do a kid and a toddler, and then I really didn't want to do a toddler because I always do toddler bedrooms. So then I thought it was like a really young kid and then almost like a preteen or a kid that had just turned into a teenager. So for this room, I was definitely thinking probably like 4 to 6-ish. And then the other bedroom, I was thinking like 12 to 14-ish. Yeah, that's kind of where this is, like the 12 to 14, because this kid here is going to be like, they're really into music, and I gave them a guitar, which children in the game cannot use, but teenagers can, and in theory, teenagers would include like 13 and 14-year-olds, so I figured that they had just turned maybe like 13, so in the game they were still technically a teenager and they could play with the guitar, or maybe their parent had gotten them a guitar for them to like aspire to play when they were older. That's kind of what I was thinking. And then I also made their room look a little bit more mature. They have a different wallpaper, they have their own desk to do their homework and maybe like write some songs at. Maybe they're like a young aspiring Taylor Swift. And then I gave them a piggy bank because I figured they might get an allowance, and then I just give them a couple of decorations around, some posters. I use this hobby board because this one has all the music stuff related to it, and then I give them the child's violin and then the guitar. And then in here is the parents' office, so I figured one parent might be like an influencer. I didn't give them a, what do you call it, the making movies video station. I didn't give them one of those, but I thought maybe they could be like a video gamer, and they played games on the internet, you know, kind of like I do. They had a YouTube channel for gaming. And then the other parent I definitely thought was an actor or an actress, and they were very much about themselves, and they had some memorabilia from the movies that they were in and stuff like that. So I didn't think that they were a very popular actress or actor, because I figured maybe they were just starting out, or maybe they weren't that good, because I figured if they were really good and they were really well known, they'd have like a mansion, kind of like the one I built a couple weeks ago up in the hills. So I didn't think that they were an overly well paid actor or actress. Let's go with that one. And then outside, I end up extending this back patio just a little bit to put a dining table out here, because I did end up giving them a grill, which I initially was not going to do. And then over next to the pool, I do end up placing a couple of lawn chairs, but besides that, that is it for this build, so I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!